So having those two Category 5s back to back, the experience that I've learned from Hurricane Marilyn through the years, we did a lot of planning. And here in the organization, part of our requirements, we must do a lot of emergency management planning, working with VITEMA, of other federal partners. And so we prepared as best as we could. And you talk about lessons learned, making sure you have ample staff on board to respond to any emergencies, whether it be clinical staff as well as maintenance staff, housekeeping staff, getting additional materials to be able to board up windows, to direct water. In this particular disaster, I even had water pumps. As a result of past experiences, a lot of water intrusion into the building. One thing that's different here is not so much of flooding coming from the ground up. Much of our flooding occurred with the loss of the roofing membrane, and that allowed deluge of water to just pour into the facility. We're talking all the way from the 5th floor roof right down to the 1st floor. So immediately following the storm, windows out, the first thing that comes to mind is secure the patients. Patient safety is always number one. I have basically a list of 5 areas that are my top priorities following a disaster within the hospital, and which would affect the territory and the residents. Making sure the emergency room is functional, not only to deal with what may have occurred within the hospital, but with the anticipation of what is going to come from the community. Next order of priority for me is our operating room, because we've seen, following a disaster, folks are getting injured, severe lacerations, trauma, the whole 9 yards. So making sure the operating room is going. Thirdly, making sure the ICU remains functional. Our ICU must be, for critical patients that may have to come in and have to be stabilized. Fourth of my priorities is labor and delivery, because again, mothers who are pregnant going through a traumatic event, sometimes you see premature deliveries, or those that might be close to delivery because of the strain, the pressures, and what have you. We see those as well. And last but not least, our hemodialysis unit. Hemodialysis, because the patient population that we have within the community, and they require treatment 3 days a week, they really cannot be interrupted for any extended period of time. So those are my 5 key areas immediately following a disaster here within the hospital situation that I try to make sure that my team, working in conjunction with the medical staff, nurses, making sure that all those areas are ready to not only take care of our current patients, but to be able to receive patients coming from the community.